So let us start the discussion regarding the Porter 5 forces, everyone. The Porter 5 forces, let me quickly share the screen and we can start our discussion. Now, if you have understood the Pestel 5 analysis, then Porter 5 forces is actually very simple. Sorry, the Pestel analysis, then Porter 5 forces is very simple. Porter 5 forces will be discussing about the industry. I hope this part is clear. Now, it analyzes the micro factors and focuses on the competitive dynamics regarding the competition of the company, competition of the organization, the suppliers, the uh, entrants, or something like that. So now what are the five forces? We have threats of new entrants. We have the bargaining power of suppliers. We have bargaining power of buyers, threat of substitute products, and then rivalry among competitors. These are the five things. Now, the very first thing, that is the threat of new entrants. Now, what you have to look when you are talking about the threat of new entrants, you talk about the barriers. Let's say if I talk about the nuclear energy or the railways in India. So entry to the railways is very difficult. Correct. Entry to the nuclear is very difficult. But entry to, let's say, wood manufacturing company, industry is very simple. Talk about the barriers to the entry. Economies of scale, the brand loyalty, the regulations that are there. You have to talk about all these things. Then how to write? You have to highlight that how barriers protect the existing business. If the barriers are high, it will protect the existing business. If the barriers are low, it will increase the competition. So threats of new entrant talks about if the people can enter into your industry or not. What are the barriers that are there to stop people from entering into your industry? Then bargaining power of suppliers. Bargaining power of suppliers, we talk about the supplier concentration, switching cost, and product differentiation. Basically, we talk about the suppliers, the raw material providers. Are they strong? When I talk about the strong, I'm talking about their position. If there is just one supplier, don't you think it is completely impossible to switch from there? And the bargaining power of that particular supplier will be damn too high. Correct. Now, how to write out this question? Discuss how strong the supplier power can increase input cost or how weaker supplier power may offer better returns. So if there are number of suppliers, what will happen? If there are number of suppliers, the power will be low. And when the power will be low, it it can decrease my raw material cost or the cost of inputting. So when I talk about the bargaining power of suppliers, talk about things regarding the raw materials, talk about things regarding the suppliers, the creditors that are there. Then bargaining power of buyers. We talk about the vice versa of some things that we discussed right now. Talk about the buyer concentration, price sensitivity, availability of substitutes. When I talk about the buyer concentration, I'm talking about if the people who are ready to buy the goods, if there are a lot of people who are ready to buy your goods, the bargaining power will be low. If there is very niche market, then the bargaining power will be high. So you have to explain how high buyer power forces businesses to offer better prices or differentiated products to retain customers. Because if you just take a very quick example of, let's say, Bisleri. Bisleri is a water bottle. Now, Bisleri have a 20 rupees bottle for general public and a 80 rupee bottle for the niche market that is there. So they have a differentiated product because the bargaining power of the supply of the customers who are sitting at a who want a 80 rupees bottle, who can afford a 80 rupees water bottle, they are different from public who is able to afford the 20 rupees bottle. So Bisleri cannot have a same bottle for the same different set of public because of something which is called as bargaining power of buyers, because they can switch from one product to another. They can go for a different water, they can go for the Tata Copper, they can go for the recently one water bottle is very famous in India right now, the red color bottle. I'm not sure what was the name. I have seen that bottle a lot. So they can quickly switch from one place to another. Correct. Then we have a threat of substitute products. Now, when I talk about threat of substitute products, what to look for over here is availability of alternatives, switching cost, product uniqueness. So what I just discussed in the buyers, basically buyers power. Now, substitute products, It's like the alternatives that are there. If I take tea, if you are not having a good tea, you can go for a coffee. Correct. Then if you talk about these things, example. Now, if you switch from one customer or one product to another product, how much you will be paying? The cost that you have to incur, the uniqueness. If you have a very unique product, it is not easy to substitute. If I talk about Apple products are a bit unique because they have iOS. Other than that, everyone is using the Android. So they have something called as a product uniqueness. Now, how to write the question? So you have to consider how substitutes may limit industry profitability, especially if alternatives are more affordable or better in quality. So this is something that you have to write in your answers. So you have to talk about the substitute products everywhere. Now, I hope this part is clear to all of you. So, first of all, four things that we have: threat of new entrants, bargaining power of suppliers, bargaining power of buyers, and threat of substitute products. These are the first four things that we have to take care of. After that, the last point is rivalry among competitors. Talk about the competition that is there in the market, the product differentiation, the market growth, the market share, the market analysis, and all these things in the rivalry among the competitors. How you will be writing this answer? Analyze how intense the competition is and how intense competition can erode your profitability, especially in industry with little product differentiation, where all the products are almost same. Tire industry. Tire industry, be it MRF, be it Apollo, be it Crest, all of the tires are somewhat very similar only. Correct. So there is very little or very low level of product differentiation that is there. I hope you are getting my point, everyone. So these are the 4 points that you have to take care of, everyone, while writing down your answer, which will help you out in getting the marks. Now, if you get a question, so it is not compulsory that you write down your answers using these points, but it is better to use these points because you have a framework ready in your mind. You just need to copy the words from there, copy certain statements from there, put it in your answers, change certain facts, provide the impact, and that's it. So what are the 5 things? 5 things were threat of new entrants, bargaining power of suppliers, bargaining power of buyers, threat of substitute products, and rivalry among competitors. Now, key exam writing tips for Porter 5 forces. First of all, industry specific analysis. Focus on the factors specific to the industry you are analyzing. For example, in a technology industry, rivalry might be high due to rapid innovation cycles, which is absolutely correct. And also, not only the rivalry, the competitions, the threat of new entry will be there. Correct. And when I talk about the threat of new entry, generally we talk about a new product of a competitor or a new competitor coming into the market. Then strength of each force. Indicate whether each force is strong or weak. If you're talking about let's say you have a very unique product. So threat of substitute products will be low. Then, for example, the threat of new entrant is low due to high capital requirement, making it difficult for new competitors to enter the market. Now, link to the business strategy. Link the analysis to potential strategic decisions such as cost leadership to combat high rivalry or differentiation to reduce buyer power. Okay, so you have to link two facts. You cannot write down just one thing and that's it. See, this is a professional paper. You have to write in the professional manner. So if you just link certain things, it will improve your answer, everyone. So if you just link out one or two statements, it will definitely improve the manner in which you are supposed to write down. Now, exam writing technique and insights for the first part, that is the border 5 forces and the pestle analysis, everyone. See, this thing will be true for every point that is there. So you don't need to think much onto this fact. Understand the question, carefully read the exam question to determine which model to be used. If question asks for analysis of the general environment, use pestle. If industry environment, use Porter 5 forces. For external environment, we can use both the models depending. Generally, we'll be using the pestle environment. And one more thing, actually the case will already tell you whether you are supposed to use pestle. If the case is talking about technology, environment, you will get an idea, yeah, I have to use pestle. If the case is talking more onto the bargaining power of buyers, the suppliers, the competitors, you'll get an idea that I am supposed to use the border 5%. Be clear and precise, avoid vague responses, be specific when explaining factors. Use structure headings and subheadings. These are very important, everyone. And don't just state facts. Explain why certain factors impact the business. For example, higher interest rate increase the cost of borrowing, which may slow the business expansion plans. Correct? Address favorability. Always specify if a factor is favorable or unfavorable and justify your answer along with the logical reasoning. Maximize marks by overlapping points. If a point fits into multiple categories in both sections with different impacts, use it. But show the different impacts, which is actually very important. Allocate time wisely during the exam. If question requires analyzing multiple models, ensure you dedicate enough time to both Pester and Porter 5 courses. Now, I hope this much, these all the things regarding the Porter and regarding your Pester is clear to all of you, everyone. I don't think that there will be any question regarding the Porter or the Pestle right now.